it's because I'm looking at the road. Sorry about that, but I felt like I had to get on here. I hate that this is going to be the first thing I've done in 2024 on this channel, but it is what it is. Whenever there's a hot topic in K-pop, I try to get on here and give my 2 cents. And man, today's hot topic is just so stupid and so anger inducing that I'm just like, I'm going to try not to like just flat out rant, but I am going to get a little yelly. I'm sorry. So, earlier this week or the beginning of last week, I remember reading about the fact that the guy who was a former member of FT Island, he was paying for a membership to this Japanese fan subscription website, and basically you as an artist can pay, I think, $5 a month to start a membership portal so that your fans can talk to you and reach out to you. And he, being a former idol in Korea, implicated in Burning Sun as a fucking rapist, I guess he said, you know what, it's too hot to start things in Korea. I will start it up in Japan, where maybe they don't get the news from other countries. Anyway, I read about that last week, and I remember thinking, wow, are we entering the cycle of people from Burning Sun being able to like promote as idols again? How unfortunate. How sad. Hopefully, the backlash that this person is getting will indicate that no one else needs to try to jump on the train to stardom after being involved in something so fucking shitty. Uh, yeah. This week, today, we find out that Hyuna has asked us to look prettily upon her new relationship with another person involved with Burning Sun. And I'm laughing because I'm just like, girl, did you really think that we were going to embrace this shit? So Hyuna announces that she's dating Jin Young, who is a former member of Beast slash Highlight. And in case you forgot his involvement in Burning Sun. So there was Jin Young, the guy from FT Island, and a couple other people who were the main perpetrators of the rapes. But they had a group chat with several other people in the idol industry where they would film their rapes and send the video footage of their rapes to the people in the group chat. And then the people in the group chat would say things like, oh, she's got a fat butt. Oh, look at this whore. Oh, her titties are strange. Like, they would make these comments about women who, in the video, are being raped. And he was brought to court where he was not legally implicated in anything, but he did admit to seeing the videos. And in his words, I really didn't think that it was a problem. I only realized that now it was a problem. So he went to the military, like everyone does when they get in trouble if they're a guy. And now I'm assuming that he thinks that, the 3 to 4 years since all of this happened, that he can start to slowly reintroduce himself to the public. And Hyuna must feel the same way because she's letting everybody know that she's got a new man. They're together. And I'm so disappointed in her. I'm so disappointed in Hyuna. I'm disappointed in Hyuna because honestly, after Babe and knowing what she went through when she was a part of the Wonder Girls with JYP, the rumors about her when she left the Wonder Girls, the stress that she had to go through when she was in 4 Minute and everybody accused her of the star visual favors or something else, the backlash she got from dating Dawn in the public, I just felt like of all the people who could understand that being an idol, there's so many predators and bad people in the industry, and PR can do such a number on the rest of your career, that she would be a person who would say, you know what, I could never be involved in somebody that even touched something like this, because as a woman I'm offended, and as somebody in the industry you represent the worst possible person in the industry. But she didn't do that. Instead, she held on to her Cube kink and said, oh, you used to work at Cube? Legs are open. Let's get it started. And also, I kind of find it a little bit weird that this is now the second person from Beast that she has dated, because she dated homeboy who used to be in Troublemaker. So it's like, wow, you definitely have a type, don't you? But I am not as mad at Hyuna as I am this individual, because let's be honest, Hyuna was not a rapist. Hyuna did not partake in the group chat, according to all records. So let's put our eyes on the real perpetrator, on the real criminal here. For Hyuna to date this person, she has to mentally jump the hurdle and the leap about the fact that this man was friends with rapists. Not that he knew of a rapist. He was friends with rapist with an S, multiple people who commit rape. He watched women be raped. He had no sympathy for the women being raped. He never contacted the police to let them know that he knew of rapists. He never contacted the police to let them know that there was pornography that had been made that involved the filming of these rapes. He later on denied that he had anything to do with seeing any of the footage or being involved in any of the chats that discussed these rapes. And then only decided to admit his wrong because they had his text messages where he commented on the bodies of the women who were being raped. He did all of that. He's not just a rape apologist, he's a rape enthusiast. That's the man that Hyuna decided to hitch her wagon to. And for Hyuna to turn around and expect us to have the memory of a fucking goldfish like her and let this man back in, acceptable. Like, honestly, if I was her, I wouldn't have acknowledged I was in a relationship with that man until I was getting ready to give birth to our first child. I would keep it that on the low. Like, the fact that she actually had the unmitigated gall to come out here and tell people, this is my new boo. Look upon us kindly. Girl, get the whole fuck out of here. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. Nobody's proud of you. No one supports this. You are a disappointment to us all. And fuck him for ever thinking that he could sully somebody else's life the way that he sullied these women. You know, we have not been told the names of the victims. We haven't. Thank God. But these are women that, unless something tragic has happened, they're still alive. They're still trying to pursue their lives. They're trying to have relationships. They're trying to meet people and form friendships. They're trying to have jobs. They're trying to rebuild the pieces of their life. And they can't get on the internet. They can't walk past a conversation in the streets without hearing about the people who terrorized them. And now someone who, media wise, they should be able to find solace in. The feminist messages that Hyuna often puts into her music, they should feel like that's a safe place for them to listen. They shouldn't have to hear about the men who victimized them when they're thinking about an idol whose music is about being proactive with feminism. And then all of a sudden, that very person is dating a man who took part in their torture, who took part in mocking their rapes. I'm so fucking disappointed that they have a society that made it seem like if you just give it a couple of years, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. We should be able to get over that and be very clear. It is a society. It's not one or two people who are choosing to forgive him for what he's done. The fact that one of the rapists themselves is trying to reestablish themselves in Japan. The fact that when the rapist and his mother were interviewed about the fact that he is a fucking rapist, his mother's answer was, that's old news. You're making it bigger than what it was. That's all done. Leave us alone. You are sick. We're sick for asking about your son who's a rapist. Wow, that's rich. But you know, they say apples don't fall far from trees. But there are a lot of celebrities in various parts of Asia, just to be honest with you. Not that we don't have them here in the United States. Of course, we have them in the United States. I mean, R. Kelly. But there are a lot of celebrities in Asian countries that have done horrible things and were allowed back on TV who became more popular than ever. There's literally a cannibal in Japan who, after getting caught cannibalizing, I think it was a French exchange student, he became a celebrity because the laws in that country didn't keep him in prison for long. So he started making TV and variety appearances so that he can capitalize on the fact that he ate a human being, not to mention the murder. There are rapists in the Korean entertainment industry who, after taking a brief hiatus, have come back. There's an I think there's one person who's an actor, I think, in the Korean entertainment industry who did a hit and run and managed to come back. Um, it's not unseen or unheard of for it to happen. And so maybe we've reached the expiration clock on Burning Sun. Maybe we're at a time now where people say, it's been 4 years. Time to forgive, time to forget. And Hyuna, living in that society, maybe it's been pounded into her brain, hey, it's been a few years. It wasn't that big a deal. He just watched some videos. People should be happy that I'm happy. But we're not. We're not happy that you're happy because your happiness comes at the expense of somebody else, several somebody else's. And there's women out there who will never know their names, will never know what happened to them because they've never spoken out loud. They've never said a word because they were afraid of the backlash of their community. They were afraid that if they spoke up and they told people, I have been abused, I have been raped, that their rapist would get a slap on the hand and they would be ostracized from their community or tagged as a soiled woman, a used woman, a troublemaker, to use phrasing from Hannah's own discography. And so they've kept shut. But maybe they thought, it's eating me up inside and I need to tell somebody. I know I'm scared, but maybe I can tell somebody because I am hurting from keeping this in. And then they turn on the news and they see another rape enthusiast having a happy relationship with a popular star. And they're reminded again, you and your trauma and your pain and the crimes committed against you and your body mean nothing in the face of fame and popularity and success and society's desire to redeem the worst men. You, a victim, mean nothing. We've got open arms for the offenders. I'm so disappointed. Also, somebody brought up in the chat that didn't he date Goo Hara? No, Goo Hara dated a different guy, but since we're talking about Burning Sun, Goo Hara knew that one of her exes was involved with Burning Sun, and she helped the journalists who were able to uncover this whole situation. And Goo Hara and Hyuna were friends in Goo Hara's life. How fucking brave Goo Hara was. What a brave fucking woman. After everything she went through, having a mother who abandoned her, having a father who didn't give a fuck about her, having a man get caught on camera whooping her ass, and then getting arrested because she dared to fight back to keep him from killing her, having the press call her all kinds of names, whores, sluts, just anything they could think of. The fact that she held on as long as she could, my God. And I think that if I was a woman who had been friends with with another woman who went through everything that Goo Hara went through, who knew of how brave she had been before she passed, who I had been through my own issues with an industry who sexualized me before I was ever capable of defining my sexuality on my own terms, to then turn around and embrace somebody who was a part of the very structure that allowed you to be sexualized without your permission, without your input, without your being able to advocate for yourself. How fucking dumb are you, Hannah? How fucking dumb are you? What a absolute just brain dead bimbo are you? Seriously. Not even a bimbo, because bimbos can be smart. You, on the other hand, you might as well be a man. Uh, and since we're trashing Hannah, because I guess that's what we're doing now, I will be honest. I have not liked a lot of what Hannah does in the last several years. I have openly on my channel before, for those of you who follow me and can totally verify it in the chat, I have been saying that I didn't like the kind of druggy aesthetic that I felt like Hyuna and Edon were promoting slash making a part of their Instagram. I have not enjoyed a lot of her music in recent years, and I have wondered, does she want fame anymore because of how sporadic the releases have been, and even once the releases were put out, how short the promotions have been. But the last song that she released, I was like, okay, this works. Maybe we're on the come up. Maybe things are getting better. Maybe being with Dawn had put her in a bad headspace, and that's why the whole junkie chic thing was happening, even though she did do the junkie chic thing when she was with homeboy from Troublemaker. But I was like, okay, maybe this is just a look. This is not a lifestyle. Maybe she played trailer trash in the video, but she's actually quite the sophisticated individual in her personal life. But now I'm beginning to wonder if this is just who the fuck she is. If maybe all of the years of industry abuse have warped her mind and made her believe I have to be trash. I have to be a person who supports this continuously abusive system. But I want to say this for the Hyuna friends and fans out there, especially my dear Mason. Um, I'm not going to say that you need to throw away your Hyuna albums. I'm not going to say that you need to quit listening to her music forever. I'm not going to say that you have to do anything. I'm not. I'm not going to say that. I still own Big Bang albums, even though I'll never spend a single fucking penny on Sungri ever in my life. But I am going to say this. Just like Hyuna had the opportunity to not embrace, literally, a rape enthusiast, we have the opportunity to not promote a person who embraces a rape enthusiast. Whatever happened in the past, and we can live there. But after this moment, I would hope and pray that you will not ask others to listen to Hyuna's music, that you will not ask others to buy Hyuna's albums, that you will find ways to participate in Hyuna's comebacks without her monetarily benefiting from those comebacks, that you will find ways to divorce yourself from her new material, that you will find ways to not publicly prop up her image. That is the ask that I am making, if you can. I'm not saying that you can't listen if you want to listen, but I'm saying, can we now make it to where it's not attractive for a makeup brand to use Hyuna as a spokesperson? It's not economically beneficial to have Hyuna promote your designer handbag. It is no longer a desire to have Hyuna pose with your little beer and selling your soju brand. That's what I want for her. I want her to lose the economic base that supports her foolishness, because maybe she forgot that it's a lot of women who support Hyuna. In the beginning, it was probably a lot of men, but at this point in the game, it's a lot of women who are fans of Hyuna. It's a lot less straight men than there were in the early days. And so, because of this, I would like us to remind her of the population she has offended and who now have decided to withdraw their support. That's my ask for you. Also, I just want to take a minute and give a shout out, kudos to all of the fan communities that have turned their back on Hyuna. Like, It is incredibly brave for someone to love an idol and create not just content about their love of that idol, but to maintain whole fan pages that keep up to the minute news for that idol, who put all the press pictures out for everybody to see, who helps to make banner events and birthday events and all kinds of other things to show support for an idol. Somebody who basically has a regular 9 to 5 job and then spends another 40 to 50 hours campaigning on behalf of their idol every week. That is somebody who has invested not just time, not just money, but invested their heart into loving somebody, into loving something. And for these people to be on Twitter and Instagram right now saying that they are shutting down shop is so incredibly brave. It takes such cojones to say, I am not with the shit. Not on my watch. And those are people we should all be proud of. So if you want to do something that's kind of in the opposite of supporting Hyuna, if you know of a Hyuna fan site that has decided to close down based on a personal choice that she made that she didn't have to make, that's another thing we need to keep in mind. She didn't have to make this fucking choice. There are several other people who used to be on Cube that she could try to date. Hui's coming out with a solo. Why didn't you try him? Y'all were in Triple H together. You already have a history. Just roll over to the other side of the bed and pick him. Anyway, if you could, just leave a kind word for these fan sites that have decided to close down and let them know you appreciate the work they did in the past, but you appreciate even more that they have morals today. I think that's something that we can all get behind. But yeah, fuck Yana. Um, I hope that you get a UTI because you're dealing with a dirty dick person, and those are the consequences of dealing with dirty people. But yeah, I'm Yana. Why? There are so many men out there. There are so many men out there. Why? Are there no other members of Pentagon you can sleep with? Yosef's still single, isn't he? Geekwan is in Marry My Husband, a really great K drama. Why aren't you hitting him up? Yeah, yeah. Mm. But yeah, she likes that toxic shit. And so let her be exactly what she wants to be. Thank you again for joining me. I hope that this is something that helps you let out feelings that you have about the situation, that clarifies kind of feelings that you've had about the situation. If there's anybody who is not familiar with Burning Sun, it is a long and involved story. I highly recommend that you watch some of the media around it. I know is it Stephanie Sue is the YouTuber who does the mukbang slash true crime, and I think she just did a Burning Sun episode not that long ago. If you want to watch that, and also there were some people on the internet saying this is misinformation. He wasn't involved with Burning Sun. He was involved with the Golden Phone. You need to get it right. And then somebody said he was involved with Nth Room, which that's a totally different thing. But the reason why he's involved with Burning Sun, if you will, is not because he was involved with the club necessarily. It was because due to a woman being drug out the club, the Burning Sun Club, that's when all of these other things that were connective tissue to that event came to light, which is why the whole thing is called the Burning Sun scandal. So there's a lot of information behind it, but it's got a whole Wikipedia page, a whole Wikipedia page. So do a little reading if you're not familiar with the situation. And I think once you read about the situation and you read about what Hyuna's new boyfriend uh, had to say regarding his involvement, the pattern of denial before acceptance, then I think that you'll get a grasp as to why we are all so very disappointed in her. Because I know it's so tempting to say he just watched some videos, he just made some crude comments. We all watch weird ass videos and make crude comments. But it is different in a material way, in a huge material way. There are people who watch this is expanding on the topic, but there are people who watch Pornhub. And there are people who traffic human beings in order to create content for Pornhub. And so when people say, I don't support human trafficking, but they watch pornography that involves underage individuals who are being forced to have sex on camera in order to maintain their lifestyles or their families, then in a way, in a very material way, you are directly contributing to human trafficking. My mom actually this morning was just watching a YouTube video about sex work and human trafficking in Thailand, and about how even though Thailand doesn't have the same HIV/AIDS problems that they did back in the 90s because of contraceptive use, there's still a lot of apparently German tourists who like to come to Thailand and sleep with underage girls. But when they were interviewing a German man who has a whole ass YouTube channel about his exploits with Thai women and buying companionship for money, his response was, yeah, I do that, but that's just the way things are around here. And of course, my response to my mom was like, no, that's not the way things are in Thailand. That's just the way things are with the fucking German perverts that are coming to Thailand to engage in this kind of tourism, this sex trafficking. But the reason why I brought up the Pornhub example was because I could see somebody arguing. Him watching a video of a girl being assaulted is no different than people who watch beheadings on YouTube, or people who watch Pornhub videos that have people who are sex trafficked. You know, yes, he's watching a crime happening, but he didn't commit the crime. He's just a viewer, he's just watching. But what makes it, again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, what makes it worse in this situation is the fact that he personally knew the people committing the rapes in the videos. Think about that. If you were watching a porn video and it was of your best friend and some rando, first of all, I would not want to watch that. I have no desire to watch my friends having sex. But two, if you're watching your friend in a sex video with a person who is unconscious and does not even know they're being filmed or that the sex act is happening, and instead of your response being, I cannot believe they just sent me evidence of a crime, what the fuck, and then respond to them, don't send me this shit, don't be doing this shit, I'm gonna have to tell somebody. Well, you might not tell them I'm going to tell somebody. You might tell somebody and then later on let them know it was me for safety reasons. That's him. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody passively watching pornography on a pornography site. We're watching somebody who's literally watching evidence of criminal act. That is who Hyuna has decided to be with. That's her boyfriend now. She has decided to be with somebody who watched a person be raped, and their response was to mock their body. So, anyway, again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry to the people who are big Hyuna fans. And yeah, what the fuck? Hyuna, why? Why? See y'all later.